Welcome to our video about the comparative market analysis, also known as the CMA. This is Janet Parsons. I am team leader and listing specialist with Thinking Boise Real Estate, a Keller Williams Realty Boise team. So when I do a CMA, I am looking to find the very best price that I can for your house. And that is probably the most important thing we can do, is set the right price. So I will go out and look at, similar to an appraiser, I will look at homes that have sold within the last 3 to 6 months and that are within about a 1 mile radius of your home. I'll also be looking for similar homes, so I'll try not to compare a 2-story to a single level, things like that. So I pull all those together, and then I actually have a program that I subscribe to that allows me to put both objective and subjective information together and end up with what is a very likely selling price for your home. It's important that we hit the right price. We don't want to pad it to just test the market. What we found is that the faster your house sells, the more money you will get. So testing the market usually ends up resulting in a lower price instead of a higher price. The next thing that I do is I take a look at the active properties, because this is a competition. I take a look at houses that are also on the market at the same time you will be, and those houses that are similar to yours in the same area as yours. We want to make sure that you're positioned correctly with relationship to what your competition is. And it definitely is a competition, and we want to win. And then the other thing that I look at, if we're not getting a really solid price by looking at the solds and looking at the actives, then I sometimes will also take a look at what has happened in the market in general since the time, say, that you bought the house to the time you're ready to sell the house. We can actually look at what the historical percentages of change have been, and we can apply that to the house when you bought it and see if we're kind of coming into the same general range as what we get for the selling price when we look at the solds and when we look at the actives. And then the last thing I look at typically is the absorption rate. And the absorption rate tells us basically for your house in your area of town about how many months of inventory are sitting there. So is there a year's worth of inventory? In other words, if no other houses came on the market and no other houses sold, it would take a year to clear out that inventory. If there's a year of inventory, we definitely need to take that into consideration when we set the price, because it certainly has a lot to do with how many buyers are going to be coming to take a look at your house. And the other thing that I like to tell people is what does not affect the price of your home. And this can be really tricky because a lot of folks think this is how to set the price. But we cannot look at what you paid for the house, what you need for the house, what you want for the house, what your neighbors think you should get for the house or your business associates. And we also can't ask what it would cost to rebuild it today. That is not the price that we need to set for your house in the market. We're really evaluating what's going on in our market right now and how can we take advantage of that best for you. And so once we agree on that price, you and I, and figure out the right place for you to be, the last thing that I'll do is is to create a net sheet for you. That net sheet will show, given a certain price, then after all the fees are paid, so for example, all your taxes are paid out of there, closing costs, commissions, etc. After all of that is done and you have closed, what is the actual net that you get out of that house? That's a good thing for you to know, aside from just the asking price of the home. So that's basically how we do comparative market analysis, and in our next video we're going to talk about the listing paperwork. Thank you.